What is up, YouTube? Thanks for joining me here on my channel. Steven Sturgill. I'll be your host for the next few minutes. Yes, technically, once again, we're looking at a tobacco-based scent, but actually, kind of not. Let me explain. This scent is from a house that I've been covering for a while now, and I'll continue to cover because I really believe in the nose, Angela St. John. You know, I'm talking about, guys, if you're a real fraghead, I'm talking about the house of Solstice scents. These guys. Scent that we're looking at today, guys, is Flintlock. So just think about the old 1800s Flintlock rifles and pistols. You pack the black powder in. What was that, paper charge or something? And it depends on the actual unit, how old they were. And then you pull the, I think it was a dual action, or I don't know, some cases 2.5 action, and then you pull it after prepare it. Anyways, watch a documentary or something on the Civil War before that. So the idea, obviously, here is to have that's the bottle. Is to have that smoky, peppery, almost incensey type feel or accord to the scent. Now, again, as I said, tobacco is in here. I don't get much tobacco out of this, so I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying for what I'm used to, it's really like a minor player here, and it's very soft, very subdued, and it's hiding sort of behind, or it's married so well with other elements in this fragrance. I really don't get too much tobacco, but that's neither here nor there. It's a wonderful scent. I think it's one of her most designery, if I can use that term, or designer-ish type of scents. Whereas a lot of her other scents are definitely artisanal, or very artful, artisan, niche, indie, that type of thing. I think this one here definitely skews a little bit towards the designer realm. And what do I mean by that? Don't get me wrong, it's still a bit unique, still has a strong indie niche character to it, but I think it's done so balanced. Let's talk about some of the aspects of it first. Let's talk about the notes, and then we'll get into some of the finer details before I lose my train of thought. Now, I don't think this dropped a heck of a long time ago. Let me check. When was the release date? Does it even have a release date? I'm not sure. Let's see. Bear with me. Here we go. I don't know if she prints the dates that her stuff dropped or not. Okay, I found it. I just had it a second ago. Oh, that's odd. I'll just do a box search. I found the 5 mils, but I'm not looking for the 5 mil. How odd. Huh. I'm finding only the 5 mils now, and I know that the big bottle exists. That's what I just bought it, so I know it's real. Unless she sold out, but that would be weird. I think you would just keep the picture up and say it's currently sold out, right? So, that is odd. Don't know why I'm missing it. Let me try Eau de Parfum. Maybe I went to a different area. Let's see. Still not finding Flintlock. What gives? Oh, that is really odd. Did I hit the Flintlock Lotto? Because I don't see any other bottles available now. Did I spell it wrong? I don't think so. I'm only seeing the 5 mils. I don't know what's going on. Is she currently out of stock? Doing a reformulation or what? Let's see. Okay, that didn't work. Very weird. I didn't expect this to happen. Let me check under Valentine's collection just in case. Let me check under fall collection. No. Fine, I will check under winter. And then after that, I'm checking under recently added, and then I'm all out of options, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Not seeing it. That's not a kind of weird. I'm still only seeing the 5 mils. Let me go in there to see if there's an option to go higher. How weird. Recently added, maybe? How bizarre. Ah. That is weird. Guys, I think she's out of stock. I think she's literally out of stock right now in the 60 mils. Well, she'll hopefully be in stock soon enough. That's pretty bizarre because I thought this was a relatively new frag. But she does make them in relatively small batches, and it's possible that she just absolutely sold out, and that's that. So buyer beware. You may want to get your nose on this next time it comes around. Let's talk about it anyway. Let's talk about the real notes in here before I forget. I can look at the 5 mils, and it's the same exact mixture. Although I'm looking at the 5 mils oil, this is an eau de parfum. It is high in oil, that's true, and has essential oils in here as well. It's alcohol, sugar alcohol based, but all the notes are otherwise identical. So let's get into it. Tobacco, saddle leather, Virginia cedar, black pepper, woods, bayberry, and evergreens. Now, I do get the leather, guys, but it's, for me, it's very, very soft. It's very, very underscored. There's a sweetness to it. There's a smokiness, obviously, to it from that, from that smoky accord and the black pepper. The evergreens and the bayberry do give it a nice little, almost like a juniper style. I'm not saying it smells like juniper. It has that nice little green and that little sharp, tangy, berry, fruity goodness coming up. It's very mild. It's soft and playful. There's almost like a light honey smokiness to this entire mixture. And that tobacco and the Virginia cedar with that saddle leather. It's just all very soft and a little hazy, a little creamy. A little hint of some kind of incense. Don't think church, just more of like a light smoky incense, kind of a nondescript. You do get that greenery from the evergreens and the bayberry. You do get that strong smoke accord, but what I like a lot about this blend, as opposed to, I know a few months ago or whenever it was, I reviewed A City on Fire by Imaginary Authors, and for me, guys, just FYI, word to your mama, my 2 cents, word to your mother. That was just over the top. It was just overkill. It was like driving off a cliff with no parachute. Really, really not to my liking. Just overly dark, overly pungent, overly burnt match smoke accord. And look, if that's your thing, bravo. Who am I to tell you what to wear? I'm just giving you my full opinion on it. That's all I can ever do. None of this is really that factual when you're reviewing. I mean, there are certain facts I guess you could scientifically measure. I guess if we wanted to go there, we could measure what's really in these guys. We could measure certain aspects of their longevity and sillage scientifically. So maybe there are a few parameters that are technically scientific, but by and large, guys, we're just giving you what we are smelling, what we think about fragrance, what we prefer. And a lot of that is just personality. It's very unique to one's individual tastes, obviously. Now, the reason I say this is very designer-ish to me is because then, unlike that A City on Fire, which is extreme niche indie house type frag, that you either love it or hate it, I think there's very little room in between on a scent like that. I think that on a scent like this, a Flintlock, which apparently she sold out of her current batches, buyer beware, and you better get on board if you want some of this good stuff, is that I think this is extremely wearable, unlike City on Fire. This is pleasant. It has some aspects in it that remind me a little bit of patchouli, a little bit like a very, very dyed down soft oud, without much of the animalic funk. You get a little bit of that evergreen and bayberry aspect in here, so it has a little bit of that nature lover, green lover, spring thing going on in here, our summer. But it's very balanced. It's pleasant. It's not too much of any one thing, which I think that to be a good designer scent, you have to be well-rounded in general. I think if you go too hardcore into one note or one accord, in general, those are never done. A, they're just never allowed into the designer space, and B, if they are, they're very frequently just shut down and crapped on because they're not viewed traditionally, at least by the status quo, as being a good designer scent for those reasons. There may be some exceptions, but I think you get the gist. Longevity is quite good for this. I got about 6 to 8 hours easily. I think probably on clothing much, much longer. So you're going to easily be secured of a good day's work or a good night out if you choose to wear this. It's sensual, but I wouldn't call it sexy. It's interesting, but not overly so. So depending on your personal proclivities and fragrance, I'm not saying this is a massive, heart-stopping, best-in-show type fragrance. I think it's very, very pleasing. I think it's very well done, very expertly blended. I think it's extremely well balanced. But if you're looking just to spend your hard-earned money on like a best-in-show, this is probably not it. But you could certainly do 1,000 times worse than Flintlock just by blind buying and ending up with something that you absolutely abhor. I can't see anyone in their right mind hating this. I wouldn't know why, firstly, because it's just so pleasant and balanced. And it has some of those aspects if you're into earthy patchoulis or ouds or tobaccos or leathers that are in here, but they're just they're dyed way down to the point that they're really not going to. I'm not saying they're dyed down that they're not even there. I'm saying they're just so restrained that it's just really, really hard for me to believe this would ever offend anyone. For whom perhaps strong, pungent ouds and over-the-top tobaccos and over-the-top animalic leathers could absolutely run them into the ground, scared and just cowering with fear, are being nauseous because they just can't stand the smell, right? But I think this is really, really good. It's probably one of the more interesting designer-ish based scents that Mrs. St. John has done. She's an incredible, incredible nose and master blender. Get your nose on it, guys. That's all I can say. Apparently, she sold out of the 60 mils. You'll have to hit her up on solsticescents.com if you want to find out when she'll have her next 60 mil bottle, which I'm very, very happy to own. And this is my scent of the day. This is about the 3rd or 4th time that I have been rocking this. So I'm starting to go through the juice just a little bit. Stuff has, like I said, really good longevity. And I would say it has good sillage. It's definitely going to waft a lot closer to your skin. But if someone gets up near you, they will definitely smell it. Trust me. I've had compliments. I've had 2 compliments to date and maybe a 3rd comment or question. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Catch me in the next episode. Please like and subscribe if you like it. And if you want to subscribe, click the bell for future updates as well, so you can be praised and apprised of when I drop new content. Thanks so much, guys. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, not someone else's. And I will catch you, hopefully, down the road of our perfumed journey. Peace out. Love you guys.